Hi and welcome. I'm AnewZ and you are watching Context. Following the 12-day Israeli-Iranian war, Iran's president held a phone call with his Azerbaijani counterpart, calling for an investigation into whether Azerbaijan's airspace was used by Israeli drones as they flew missions to attack Iran. Baku has rejected such claims, and it has done so consistently, both during and after the conflict. Fast forward to today, Iranian president is in Azerbaijan for the ECO summit in Hankendi. To talk on current Iranian-Azerbaijani relations, their trajectory and possible obstacles, we're joined by George Mshadlishvili, associate professor at the European University in Tbilisi. George, thank you so much for joining us. Now, before we get into the tension flare-up, let's start with what's happening right now. Iran's President Massoud Pazeshkian is in Azerbaijan for the summit of the Economic Cooperation Organization. As we've seen the footage, he was very warmly welcomed. Everyone had friendly demeanor, just like the previous time he visited the country. He has already met with Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev. What do you expect from this gathering when it comes to effects on Tehran-Baku relations?
Okay, in the first place, good evening. Thank you for the invitation. As far as the ties between Iran and Azerbaijan, well, I believe that when we're talking about Iran, again, I am not a specialist of the country. I have never been there, and, well, I don't have my hands on the pulse of the country. But of course, I read international press. I try to read some analytics. Of course, what I say, it's like a conjecture. My conjecture is that Iran is not a monolith state. It is something that many people understand. There is a supreme leader. This is a president which is relatively moderate, more progressive, and by the way, ethnic Azerbaijani, which is of importance as well. So it seems that after this 12-day war, the president has become more influential. He has more power than he used to have before, while the relative power of the supreme leaders and these like revolutionary guards, pretty much the most obnoxious of these political force now, their influence and their traction is declining at the moment. So, and I believe that these are political forces related to the supreme leader who try to now to renew the tension, because this 12-day war revealed serious weaknesses, vulnerability of Iranian airspace, defense structures, and the country is partially decapitated in terms of the military leadership. Obviously, the blow was heavy. It was maybe not a body blow on Iranian defense system, but certainly this uranium enrichment program probably was set back by 1 to maybe few years. We don't know the exact extent of the damage, because Iran is a generally closed society. So therefore, I believe that the certain political forces in Iran try to stoke the tensions with Azerbaijan, first of all, for their domestic audiences, because, they have to explain how come that these once touted and these praised and bragged Iranian defense system, so the interceptors, they turned up to have so many holes. It means that and these the security services and the defense bureaucracy has been penetrated significantly by the Israeli security and Israeli intelligence. Well, generally, I think that on the other hand, so Israel also have to scratch its head and think as to what can be done for the improvement of their own security system. But generally, Iran has bore the brunt of this, of the damage, and many weaknesses have been revealed. Therefore, one has to explain how come that the country was penetrated so easily. And one easy explanation is, yes, one can always say that drones were spotted crossing the Iranian-Azerbaijani border from the north, all the more since a number of Armenian sources report the same thing. I believe that, I don't know whether they act in cahoots, but probably, or maybe some Armenian sources, they gave a pretty good piece of advice to Iranians, so that they try to capitalize on those accusations in order to mitigate these reputational damage, because the population needs to know what happened, and well, some easy explanation should be supplied as to why this defense system proved to be weaker than it was expected, and the most of the population expected. Particularly after the relatively heavy casualties, of course, like people are discontent and well, they in need of some explanation.
Optics is a reason cited by many Baku-based analysts for such allegations to come out of Iran regarding the usage of Azerbaijani airspace by Israeli forces. Now, would you say that there are different currents in Iran when it comes to their views on Azerbaijan and the future of the relations of the two countries?
It seems, again, well, from what I observe, and again, so I cannot observe with certain degree of profundity because, again, so I don't speak the language, I don't speak the Farsi, I cannot read Farsi, therefore I rely on the English sources and with some circumstantial evidence. Well, it seems that the president has come out more politically powerful than he used to be, and they are. Well, when the forces around the supreme leader and these revolutionary the guards, so I don't know, remember the exact abbreviation of this like military political structure. So they try to cling to power. So my hope that the relatively moderate president will prevail. The very fact that he is in Azerbaijan right now, so I think it is promising, because if the tensions had been real serious, obviously it was the situation when the president should abstain from visit. Like Azerbaijani president didn't visit Moscow on May 9th, despite multiple invitations on the part of Russian leadership. So because there was certain issues, there were certain red lines which, in the view of Azerbaijani leadership, were crossed, and it prevented him from going to Moscow. Similarly, if the Iranian president believed that there are some red lines, imagine, so there was no agreement about crossing these by the Israeli drones, by the Israeli so airplanes of this of the border. There was beyond the agreement, and obviously it would be too scandalous to allow the visit of the president to Azerbaijan, I think.
Let's broaden this picture just a little bit. If Baku and Yerevan were to agree on the Zangezur corridor the way Azerbaijan would like to, which was previously opposed by Iran, how would you say Tehran would respond, and would it be willing to jeopardize its relations with Baku over it?
I believe that Iran is too weak a position right now to pose some significant threat. They, of course, might express their dissatisfaction, but it probably will not go beyond rhetoric. All the more since so the stakes are higher than just the Iranian discontent. I believe that the corridor and maybe I'm like a daydreaming, but potential opening of the border between Turkey and Armenia after the visit, I believe relatively successful visit of Armenian Prime Minister to Turkey, it will change this entire dynamic and geopolitical, I would say, calculus of the South Caucasus, making it like a real region and making it strategically independent and a real hub for potential trade.
Well, George, thank you so much for joining us and speaking with us, sharing your insights and opinions.
Okay, thank you once again.
And thank you for watching. That's all we had for you in this edition of Context. But stay tuned to AnewZ.